Limitless love to my peeps. The rebellion. Welcome to another version of Red Pills for the Matrix. And of course, it's a reference to be checked. Yeah. So today we'll be looking at V for Vendetta. V for the Vendetta. V for Vendetta is a beautiful movie. It's a movie that I watched this movie, I think, when I was in third or second form. Yeah, while going to high school. The first person who told me about this movie was my high school friend, Jamaican, Spencer. And from the moment I watched this movie, I fell in love with it, and it has been in my top movies for years. Now, V For Vendetta is a 2005 dystopian political action film directed by James McTague in his feature directorial debut. So this guy, James, this was his debut director's let's say project, and it was a true success. Yes, it was. The screenplay was written by how do I address these people? They're called the Wachowskis. They are transgender sisters. So they were originally men, brothers, and they changed their gender, of course, to being women. However, no hate coming from our side, and the movie is amazing. So it is based, of course, on the 1988 DC Vertigo comics, which is of the same name, V For Vendetta, and it is written by Alan Moore, brilliant writer. And it tells of a fascist totalitarian regime that has subjugated the UK, and it centers around a character by the name of V. So basically, it's where it's like a totalitarian, meaning the people are in total subjection to the government's will, and the government doesn't really have the people's welfare or well-being or their best interests at heart. So basically, there are even curfew that happens, yellow coded curfew, all kind of curfew that happens every night, where people cannot even leave their house. And the movie, of course, starts with who is called the Voice of London. I don't remember his name, but he starts because he's the one who they chose to speak and represent the country. And it starts with him giving this speech about America and, you know, being all puppeteered by his master, saying the things they want him to say, of course. Long story short, the character that is called V, by the way, I think this is the movie that inspired Alkaline to call his movement Vendetta. Vendetta basically is it's basically a revenge or a vengeful act done to a group of people or a person as retaliation for something they have done in the past to probably your family member, you or somebody that you're loyal to. So it's basically a revenge on a person, basically. So V, this character V, why this character V, why the movie is centered around this character is because this character was a reject of the society of that time, and the character was sent to a facility called Larkill, where they were experimenting, using chemicals to experiment on these rejects of the society so that they could create the perfect disease so that they could of course infest the people with this disease. Then they could sell a lot of medication and get obscenely rich. So that was the purpose of Larkill, and this character V was the only person who basically survived the experiments. He actually orchestrated a bombing at the facility, destroyed the facility, and went on to kill every member of the party that was a part of that project. So why the movie is very interesting though is because the movie shows that a person can die in the name of an idea. A person can represent a thought and die behind it. Not many people have the willpower and the level of selflessness to do that. I mean, this is why Christ and Christianity will be a perpetual, eternal dogma, eternal religion that stands the test of time. Because for a person to die for a cause, there is nothing greater, there is nothing more impressionable, impactful to the onlooker. Now V, of course, is a character that is very intelligent. When you look at this person's home is filled with books, plethora, myriad, multitude are words that are not enough in terms of descriptive power to really tell how many books this character has in his home, which by the way is what he calls the shadow gallery, filled with books, filled with sculpture, filled with art that he say he repossessed from the government. So this is a man who lives by his own law permanently, and he's very intelligent to really give you an idea. It starts with him. So for instance, this is a scene from the movie where he's speaking with the female protagonist Evie. Alright, so he says to Evie, "But on this most auspicious of nights, permit me then, in lieu of more commonplace sobriquet, to suggest the character of this dramatis persona." Very intelligent. He went on to talk about the government, and he's saying, "Voila, in view, a humble vaudevillian veteran caused vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and visage, the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition." So this is when he's getting angry, then he carves something into the wall and he's like, "The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta held as a votive, not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous." This guy is going crazy with intelligence. So I'm assuming that if you're following this channel, you're a person who is a sapiosexual, you're a person who is a bibliophile, a person who appreciates information, books, and thought processes that are stimulating. So as a result, V for Vendetta. So in long story short, in a nutshell, it's just a character that was given a bad hand, and he took it, played his role, went on to assassinate every member of the political party that were the perpetrators of that ruse, and then basically had a revolution where he honored Guy Fawkes by bombing up Parliament. He died in the process, of course, and he prophesied his own death, because the person who killed him, he had no guns, and he said to the person, I'm spoiling it for you because I want you to go watch this movie. I cannot say the amount of greatness present in this movie. So the person who killed him said to him, and that in that last scene, you have nothing but your knives. We have guns. You have nothing but your knives and your karate gimmicks. And then he said, I don't remember what he said, but that other person said to him, we're not so different. You're not gonna cry. You're not afraid to die. And he said, the only thing I have in common with you is that we're both about to die. So he predicted his death. And the person said to him, like, how do you see that happening? And he's like, with my hands around your neck. And he took all the gunshots and he killed him with his hands around his neck. Beautiful movie, V for Vendetta. What V for Vendetta represents for me is the ability to stand behind an idea, even if it costs your life. You have to realize that death is not the ending to life. You have to realize that, even the Bible has evidence of reincarnation, because Yeshua, Christ, said that John the Baptist was Elijah to come. So is that not inference or implication of reincarnation? Zane? Yes, reincarnation is real. That is not the ending to life. Standing behind your idea and representing it with everything you have, being ready to die defending that idea is necessary. That's how legacies are created. That's how immortal art is created. Remember when Bob Marley was in Zimbabwe and he was like, hey, we're gonna liberate Zimbabwe, and he was singing, and these defense forces invaded the concert, and tear gassed the concert, and everybody run left Bob Marley alone on the stage, brother, and Bob Marley did not move. He was ready to die behind his idea. This is what is necessary for you to become for you to create something great in this life. Because if you're not afraid to die, you cannot be scared off. If you're not afraid to die, you cannot be bought out. So V For Vendetta is a beautiful reference that I think you should check. You know, that Bob Marley concert is a beautiful reference that I think you should check. Additionally, I think that you should also look at the actor. I think his name is, it's Hugo Weaving. I think his name is Hugo Weaving. Let me check real quick. His name is, let me see. Yes, his name is Hugo Weaving. Beautiful actor, very beautiful actor. And what is beautiful about this actor is that for the entire course of the movie, he does not take off his mask. Welcome, Mark. Sorry about that. And he does not take off his mask for the entire show, yet his character is never lacking in stature. Beautiful movie, V For Vendetta, reference to be checked. Alright, so his co-star Evie Amon, who is played by Natalie Portman, is also a very beautiful actor, because in this movie she was liberated from her fears. She said to V in a particular part of the movie, what did she say? I wish I wasn't afraid all the time. I wish I was brave like my parents, because her parents were revolutionaries, you know. And V actually put her through a process where he imprisoned her, tricked her. She thought she was being imprisoned by the government for collaborating with him or colluding with him to, you know, treason or, you know, go against the state, you know. And you can take whatever you want. Yeah, so I'm saying V was liberated because she was imprisoned, and she was faced with the option of either cooperating with her captors or those who had her in captivity, or being killed. And she actually said, hey, kill me, I will not collaborate. So she faced her death and was liberated, because the ultimate damnation man can face is death. And if you're not afraid to death, if you're not afraid to die, what are you afraid of? This has been Red Pills for the Matrix. V For Vendetta is a beautiful reference to be checked. Check this reference and comment telling me if you like this movie. Limitless love. Thank you for checking in.